Welcome all of you here once again, but this time with a different topic, considering CGL Tier 2 2025, emphasizing reading comprehensions in English, which is one of the major factors when it comes to scoring higher in English, which is just a sec, and which is one of the most scoring subjects till now because we have 45 questions, out of which 15 questions belong to reading comprehensions. And today's session, this session, and tomorrow's also, we will emphasize reading comprehensions so that I hope we can maximize the score out there, including wide varieties that are asked, as I've heard, in CGL Tier 1 2025 from tone, structure, theme, title, inference based, vocabulary and context, and type of sentence, also simple, complex, compound, and everything such. Let's start the session without any delay with the strategy and practice. Here's the first one. You go ahead, I'll explain everything at once. Have a look at the passage. Okay. Kajal, Radhe Radhe, Jai Ma Kali. Good evening. Isha, good evening. Hey dear. Welcome, Shivaldris. Say done. Once done, I'll show the questions. Welcome, Vaishnavi. Good evening. I hope done. Showing in some seconds. Namaskar, good evening. We are taking more time than required. Okay, something you can check here. Quick. Okay, next. Jai Jinendra, good evening. Sorry. Next. Third paragraph. Furthermore, let's check the third paragraph here. Isha. Last and I explain all. Okay, let me mark. Which of the following statements best captures the theme of the passage? Historians fail to achieve objectivity. Initially, it is marked that yes, if you call this completely objective, that's futile. That means it's objective, but not absolutely objective. Okay, we can grab data from history, but not totally. So the first one is not correct. The historian's role is not to simply record events, but to understand the chaos marked in the passage also, making narratives inherently provisional and shaped by the contemporary perspective. Everything such is marked not in direct words. History is not just simply record events which happened in the past. You have to understand that, you have to copy, but as per the present perspective. See, they have said it is this, I don't know what, a document where older writings are still faintly visible beneath the newer, each layer representing filtered an interpretation that we have to understand, we have to interpret through contemporary lenses, and that was the contemporary perspective marked out there also. Historians must select, they must choose which documents to copy, which voices to amplify, which sequences to mark casual. This act of selection is subjective, subtle, but decisive imposition of meaning. The past is chaos. The task is to introduce order, process that shapes the final product. So chaos is also there. That contemporary perspective is also there. You have to select, not completely. So not just simply record events, but select it. Okay. Next. What is the author's prevailing tone when discussing the attempt to achieve absolute objectivity? Cynical, maybe. However, the author wasn't based on his personal perspective. And that was just the impulse of his mind. No, it wasn't cynical, it wasn't dismissive. He said it is futile, but not completely. You have to select what you want to carry as per the contemporary lenses. Academic is correct, but the author wasn't detached, lamenting. He wasn't sad, he wasn't resigned from the passage, he stayed connected. So it was measured, defining what to pick, what to leave, and obviously analyzing everything as a critic, marking every single detail. So that was measured and that was critical. Wasn't detached, wasn't dismissive, wasn't resigned. You can eliminate. The third paragraph is written in which tense? Third paragraph. Furthermore, the concept of this shifts present indefinite. It differs present indefinite. It becomes present indefinite. It demands present indefinite. Totally present indefinite. So simple present. Uh, the idea that is naive. So one sentence we have, the idea is naive. That idea is new, but that's not an independent clause because it is dependent on another one. Which idea is new? You have to define that idea. The idea that a historian can, through sheer this or that, extricate the narrative from this and that is completely naive. So we have a dependent clause, we have an independent clause, making it a complex sentence. Fanboys help you grab a compound sentence. And what is the meaning of amateur? Actually, that's the, what should I say? Basically, that's the framework. Basically, that's the framework, the skeleton on which something rotates, on which something is based, same marked in the passage. So that is the armature, the foundation, the structural framework that gives shape, support the entire perspective. As you can judge here also, that history is not a neutral pre-existing text to be simply copied. It's a document where this and that. Where is amateur? Just a sec. Uh, 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 I don't want to waste time. We have already taken pretty much. Uh, Third. Okay, I clicked simple past. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you so much, Heidi. Simple present tense. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I clicked it wrong because I just saw simple. Thank you so much for being here. Where is that amateur? I did see that twice. Here it is. Of the ideological armature of their education, that is naive. Yes, obviously, that's the base. The idea that a historian can, through extricate narrative of or the ideological armature of the education, is naive. That's the framework, that's the base, that's the foundation. Next. Doubts and objections, welcome. Changing slide in seconds. Daksh, thank you so much. Welcome, hey dear. Next, I can show you so that you can understand. It's not mentioned she was eccentric, crazy, or mad. It's not mentioned either that she was wealthy. See, next. The contrast between his shop and the village establishes which concept? Nothing was shown superior. I'll explain. Sated. The old fisherman's sated sigh after landing a small catch. Great, Nancy. Exactly. Gratified. Vaishnavi. Isha. Next. See, what is the most likely reason the stranger paid him handsomely for the empty clock case? He gave him or her an empty clock. When the woman returned, he presented her with an empty but beautifully crafted silver casing. It's finished, he said, his voice filled with a newfound quiet wisdom. It measures the perfection that cannot be contained. She smiled because now he has realized how to capture joy. He found that new quiet wisdom. So she understood that he has understood this now. That's why she paid him handsomely. And she vanished. She was a wealthy, mad. No, she wasn't. She explained clock had failed to work. He explained the clock had failed to work and she was compensating him for the weeks of technical labor. No, she did not. The casing was a symbolic gift to the village representing the end of spiritual. Nothing such was there, but she understood that he had successfully captured the concept of joy, contentment, being happy. Capture joy. Successfully captured joy. Okay, being immeasurable because the perfection that cannot be measured, immeasurable, fulfilling the philosophical challenge. No one can measure that. The contrast between the shop and the village primarily serves, you can eliminate. Superiority wasn't there. The conflict between tradition wasn't there, and no modernity was also there. You can check. The importance of commerce industry is not there. So, what should be considered? The tension between the rigid, measurable nature of time and the unquantifiable nature of human emotion. That's something she wanted him to measure. You can see here that the village was full of boredom. However, he was the only man who actively resisted this drift. His tiny shop constantly working with this and that, he wrestled with this, his life a rhythmic counterpoint opposite to the village's stagnation. The village was stagnant, but he was still working hard. Now she came, told him to measure not time but moments, to record the exact duration of contentment, happiness. So he was willing to work on all these things, but the village was constant. The village was full of boredom. That is the only difference or contrast marked out there. The tension between the rigid, measurable nature of time and the unquantifiable nature of human emotions. Now, sated. I hope you remember a word, insatiable, which cannot be or who cannot be satisfied. Sated, satisfied. So exhausted, no, not synonym. Gratified, absolutely, because the fisherman was happy when he landed a small catch, when he captured or fished a fish. The old fisherman's sigh, that is sigh. I hope you know the sigh of relief, we say. Sated sigh, happiness, gratified. Oh, thank God I got a fish. Absolutely. How did undertaking the stranger's commission ultimately changed him? He found a newfound quiet wisdom to capture joy. Something. He abandoned his profession. No. He achieved technical mastery. No. He became a social leader, inspiring others to resist. No. He developed a philosophical understanding of human experience beyond objective measurement of time and all. The philosophical understanding of learning or how to capture joy, human experience, emotions as discussed in the passage. And while indicates contrast. Although he worked hard, he could not do this. While he allowed to do this and that, he did not allow doing this and that. Both the sentences are dependent on each other. So if we have a dependent sentence, we have an independent sentence, making it a complex sentence. Next. One more I hope we can do today. Yes. No. Content, happiness, self-satisfaction, contentment. Self-satisfaction, I would say. Next. passage uses absurd elements, tiny spyglasses, burnt toast, chip drop, to satirize the grandiosity of professors' theoretical claims, but the comedic clash with dull reality. No problem, Isha. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Next. And the next question also confirms that the passage is humorous. And there's a mismatch between his grand aspirations with the mundane reality of nature. Quick, I have a class at 6. Exactly, the humor stems from the juxtaposition of high-flown academic terminology, aerial cars, diver what it was, divisionary tactical drop with trivial silly consequences, chip on a budget plan, basket weaving. Finish things off in 1 minute. Quick. Exactly. By the way, fervor itself means intense, passionate feeling. So, intellectual fervor describes the intensity, deep enthusiasm of the professor's academic obsession despite the unconventional nature. Quick, I have a class at 6, and it is 6. I'm sorry, I clicked C. No, 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 no. His enthusiasm and deep interest, fervor, the basic meaning of the word. I request you to check these two, and that must be something new to all of you watching this video. I request you to check. Let me just clarify the last one as the time is up. This is a figure of speech where a single verb smell governs two or more objects, burnt toast, intellectual fervor, that are logically different, a physical versus the abstract one. So that's the figurative language. See you pretty soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye. See you. Take care. And see you at the same time here tomorrow. Any objection, query, question is all welcome. Thank you. Finishing things off. See you. One can grab just a minute. Let me just inform you of, yes, 60% off on SSC test subscriptions. The sale ends tonight. Can use the code Diwali this Diwali. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Be safe. Thank you, Vaishnavi, for being here. Chivalrous, Nancy, Isha, Vaishnavi, and all of you here. Bye-bye. Take care. Be safe. See you. Thank you.